Democrats are selling their latest budget bill as a way to fight inflation. Many economists and government think tanks are now signing off on it. Not everyone is buying it, though. Here's NTD's Melina Wisecup with more.
What originally started as a $3.5 trillion budget plan, then cut down to $1.75 trillion, is now about $400 billion worth of investments. Democrats have rebranded and renamed what was originally President Biden's Build Back Better bill. Democrats now calling it the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. It's on track to pass the Senate this week. Here's Senate Leader Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor today expressing the need to pass this new budget plan.
This bill will, quote, fight inflation and will lower costs for American families while setting the stage for strong, stable, and broadly shared long-term economic growth.
Healthcare is a large portion of where Democrats aim to lower costs, investing $64 billion to extend the Affordable Care Act and capping the price of prescription drugs. Vance Ginn, who previously worked on economic policy for the White House, explains why it could attract the opposite results as intended.
What they assume to go into, the Affordable Care Act and allow for these extensions, these subsidies to go through, that would potentially only reduce the prices of health care. And I question whether that would even be the case, because really you're just subsidizing increasing demand in the healthcare marketplace without providing additional supply. So the prices are likely to go up. That's a bad scenario. But that's only one price. Inflation is really where all prices are going up. And that happens when Congress spends too much money, increases the debt, and then the Federal Reserve prints too much money. And that's what we've seen over the last couple of years.
To offset the costs of these investments, the budget bill relies on projections that in 10 years, the government will be able to rake in $700 billion in tax revenue. However, revenue projections are highly volatile, especially in times like now when the economy is slowing.
That slows down tax receipts, tax collections that are coming into the government, because the people are making as much in income and things of that nature. But if you looked at the full 10 years, like they're budgeting in for the tax hikes and everything else, that would bring down this debt reduction from about $300 billion to only $90 billion, which is we had a $90 billion deficit just last month. So this is talking about 10 years. This is not much of a debt reduction, and I think it's based on a rosy scenario that ultimately isn't going to happen, and it's going to hurt the economy and hurt Americans in the process.
And as of today, the Senate parliamentarian, that is the Senate Rules Advisor, is still reviewing the details in this bill, making sure it meets all the standards for reconciliation. While that process is still ongoing, and we have yet to hear from a key centrist Democrat, Kyrsten Sinema from Arizona, about whether or not she would support this bill, Senate Leader Chuck Schumer today expressed full confidence that this bill will pass this week. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Melina Wisecup, NTD News.